The former president also trying to make the case for his vice president with a coalition that twice sent him to the White House, which in part consisted of black voters, college-educated voters, and white Democrats.
This notion of truthfulness and democracy and citizenship and being responsible, these aren't Republican or Democratic principles, they're American principles. They're what most of us grew up learning from our parents and our grandparents. They're not white or black or Latino or Asian values, they're American values, human values, and we need to reclaim them.
Well, the former president cautioning voters tonight to ignore polls that show Joe Biden with a wide lead in Pennsylvania, right? And with more than 40 million votes already cast, can Obama help Biden put the race away? It didn't work in 2016. So joining me now to discuss, David Axelrod, the former senior advisor to President Obama, and CNN senior political commentator Angela Rye. Hey guys, how are you? Good to see both of you.
How are you?
So, David, I'm doing very well, thank you. David, Obama campaigned for Hillary in Philadelphia before she lost that state in 2016. She didn't pull together the Obama coalition. Is Joe Biden doing it, or is he building a different coalition?
Look, I think there are certainly elements of the Obama coalition, and Joe Biden is adding to it. He has reached more deeply into that white non-college vote that helped propel Donald Trump. That's one of the reasons why Trump feared him as a candidate. We've seen a strong move. You know, Trump carried the suburbs back in 2016. He's losing by a wide margin there now. And yes, I think he is going to reassemble the other elements of the coalition. I should mention seniors as well. He won those by 8 points, seniors by 8 points. He's losing them now. So he is losing his own coalition to Biden. I think the role that President Obama can play is really rally young voters of color. I thought he had a very, very focused message for those voters today about what the stakes were in this election. But you know, I think what Biden is doing is adding to that coalition in ways that Hillary Clinton simply did not.
Angela, you heard what David just said, that Joe Biden has strong support among black voters in the polls when he's saying, you know, what Obama can do here. So Joe Biden already has strong support among black voters. Both campaigns are reaching out to black male voters. Which voters are most motivated by Obama in the entire spectrum of voters?
Well, I think that what we have to remember, and I feel like we sound like a broken record these days talking about it, but black voters aren't monolithic. There are some people who Barack Obama inspires greatly. I'm watching that like, can he just come back for a third term? He makes me feel way better than Joe Biden has during this campaign. He has a way, not only with words, but with assuring people that he sees all of us. And I think that that's a skill and a gift that, frankly, Joe Biden still has to get a hold of. So absolutely they need Barack Obama on the campaign trail to close, but it is important to remember that things aren't as they were in 2008. They aren't as they were in 2012. They certainly aren't as they were in 2016. Things are so different now. And there are a group of young people who are eligible to vote this term that they lived under Barack Obama, and I think it was a time of a privilege, right, to live under the first black president, but they weren't eligible to vote yet. They're eligible to vote now. They're eligible to vote with student debt that is crippling. They're eligible to vote with COVID taking out parents and loved ones and their families. They're eligible to vote with, frankly, Don, parents who may have just come home or who may still be incarcerated. And I think that those are all things that we really have to wrestle with and level with people. Tell people that you can't fix everything that systemic oppression has given us in 401 years overnight. Level with people and tell them that things aren't perfect even with a ACA, but it's a hell of a lot better than not having any coverage at all, which could very well be the case if Amy Coney Barrett is confirmed. Things are bad, but they could get much worse if 3 of the justices on the Supreme Court becomes, if Amy Coney Barrett is confirmed, become the judicial team from Bush versus Gore. It will be the court that decides this election. Things can get worse, and I think that has to be the closing pitch. This is a new group of voters, and they just have to be level with. They're living Armageddon, frankly.
Well, and the closing pitch has to be to get people motivated, right? Because they need people en masse. David, listen, beyond making the case for Biden as a candidate, Obama gave a powerful argument for staying engaged in the democratic process. Here it is.
Voting's about using the power we have and pooling it together to get a government that's more concerned and more responsive and more focused on you and your lives and your children and your grandchildren and future generations. And the fact that we don't get 100% of what we want right away is not a good reason not to vote. It means we've got to vote and then get some change and then vote some more and then get some more change and then keep on voting until we get it right.
Okay, so listen, I don't want to read too much into that.
That was exactly Angela's point. I mean, that was the message that President Obama was making, and he was speaking directly to these young people who are rightly impatient for change and they're impatient with incremental change. And what he was saying is, we can't make everything better overnight, but we can make things better, and then we keep fighting to make them better again and again, and that's what the democratic process allows. That's the power the democratic process gives us, and I think you're going to hear that message again and again, and that's the message younger voters need to hear.
I think he was listening to our phone calls, Angela.
No, you know what, Don? I got to tell you this.
Yeah.
I was on a focus group conversation earlier with folks in LA and folks in Chicago. David, I know you'll also appreciate this. They sound like they've been listening to the phone calls, and I think what that has to mean, Don, is that these are conversations that people are having in Zoom conversation, on text message, everywhere. People are frustrated and they feel stuck. What we have right now, overwhelmingly so, and I hate to say it, but it's true, a bunch of reluctant voters for Joe Biden because they know Donald Trump isn't the choice. But what I think is the task for Kamala and for Joe Biden is to turn that reluctance into the type of hope that Barack Obama displayed on that stage today. It is so important to do that. We're running out of time, so we got to do it quickly.
Yeah, well, and I'm running out of time, so I got to get to the break quickly. Thank you both. It's good to see. See both of you.